Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome.
It is indeed said that no matter how beautifully crafted a coffin is, it will never ever make anyone admire it such that he will wish for that. Report reaching us right now is that the Ooni of Ifes family shocked as Gisei elders allegedly drop bombshell. Don't marry any more wife into the palace. We only know Queen Naomi. Keep them outside and let our wife return. Now, you have seen the way things have changed. I don't want to be overly excited about this because the face of Naomi that you saw that day was not the face of a fulfilled woman, was not the face of a happy woman, was, a face of somebody who is being forced against her wish, okay? Somebody who is forced against her wish. You saw her disposition that day. I don't know if you have seen the video. Sorry, I don't have the video. I don't have it in my channel because it's not my video, right? So now, they said that, the Gisei rolling house, of course, you do know, I'm not going to bore you with the story of the rolling houses of Ile-Ife. Kabiyesi comes from the Gisei rolling house, and the elders of the Gisei rolling house are also members of the kingmakers, right? And they were the ones who made Ooni of Ife. If they had not chosen Ooni of Ife, Ooni wouldn't have been on the stool. And right now, they say the elders, as it is rumored and alleged, that they are overly upset over this women thing. Kabiyesi has the right to marry as many wives as possible, but they want him to do it with some decorum and also not allow one feel neglected, rejected, humiliated, and all of that. That the way Naomi has been treated has not been okay. And Gisei rolling house, they stood up. Like they stood up. Why have they stood up? They stood up because of the happenings in the palace. Last week it was very, very hectic for the palace of the Ooni of Ife, where they had series of lightning in the palace, as we are hearing. And this lightning kept coming and coming and coming and coming, and the royal staff was not even there to use to avert it and all of that. So right now, the royal staff is not even in the palace, and the Gisei rolling house knew that, look, should this continue, should we sit down, we are going to lose our tenure for the rest of, God knows how long, because you know that the Obas, by the grace of God, they live very, very long. And by the grace of God, that is how the Ooni of Ife is going to live long, okay? And so now, if anything goes wrong and an Oba is overthrown, that rolling house is not replaced with an Oba. It goes to the next rolling house that is likely to be having it for the next 60 years or 40 years or, thereabout. And the Gisei rolling house knew that they needed to stand up and do something. And so they really acted. And this time, their action really made all the difference. Like, they were able to bring this thing to a point where Kabiyesi knew that, look, if I don't do something, these people might likely sit against me. And so he had to do what he had to do. Now, my question is, they said they begged and begged, and Kabiyesi also cried and said one of this Oba that died recently also met him in the dream, a vision to say things about bringing Olori Naomi back and all of that. Now, there's something spiritual about Ooni of Ife and Olori Naomi, which, of course, everybody knows is no longer news. But the question now that everybody is asking is that if Naomi is coming back to the palace, is Naomi coming back happily? It does seem as if she's not happy because that's not where she wants to be. I do know that a lot of you will not like what I am saying because, of course, we want Naomi to go back and all of that, but well, maybe that was a one-off, but you could see that she wasn't happy. Is she convinced? Is she convinced that Ooni is going to go through with all that he has said? Because time and time again, Ooni can really be apologetic and can say a whole lot of things, but implementing it and making it stand as king is a problem. Like, as far as this issue between himself and Olori Naomi is concerned, is this time going to be different? Who among you is optimistic that this will be different? If you know that you're optimistic that this time is going to be different, well, let's see how it goes, because our utmost prayer is for Naomi to settle and settle in happiness, and not just because they want to use her to settle some kind of traditional debt, right? And so this is what everybody is saying. But as we are hearing, they said the Gisei house dropped a bombshell, and everybody was shocked when they said that Naomi is their wife. And as a matter of fact, it is Naomi that they know that Kabiyesi should not bring any wife into the palace again. Should he want to marry, should marry them and keep them outside. It was based on this development that made Kabiyesi to convince everyone that look, he is trying to put on the new palace that he has had in his proposition before. That though he never wanted it to come right now because he has other projects that he needs to close up on. But with the way things are going on, that it is imperative for him to, put up the new palace so that now he can move there with Olori Naomi while others will stay here. Now, it's also very important for people to understand that he has not, well, he said he's not marrying any wife, but they said that was said passively, and people laughed because they know that he will marry. And it's so sad for me to see that they want to just force this girl to live in that kind of situation where she is not happy about. As a woman, this woman is likely to have actually fallen in love with some other person. And for you to drag that feeling, that emotion back to the Ooni of Ife, it's going to be a tug of war. And this is what they want to expose her to, because she is queen. She doesn't have a right to make her own decision. Everybody thinks they have a right to tell her what to do. I think that they should know that Naomi is an adult, and it's not fair that you make a woman feel the way she's feeling. They said, yes, so that she reluctantly, there were so many elders, everybody was there and all of that. She was just nodding her head, but you could tell in that meeting that she was not happy. She didn't want it. She didn't like it. She didn't want to go back. So whether she's going to allow them, push her into going back to the palace or what, well, I don't know. But then at the end of the day, you never can tell. Perhaps maybe it was just her emotion at the time, momentary emotion. Maybe in her heart, she's just going to adjust. We don't know. We cannot know. I cannot know. And you cannot know. But it depends on how event plays out. Because you see, Kabiyesi is already parading his Oloris all over the place and all of that. So what this means that if Naomi is going back to the palace, Naomi will have to live with all of these Oloris right there in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. But for now, they said Kabiyesi and her and everybody agreed that she will stay in the royal mansion until the new palace is built. So if this is what is going to happen, fine. If she is happy about it, well, it is fine. But however, we are just here to see what happens. So the Gisei family have made it very clear to the Ooni of Ife, as we are hearing, if the information is true, that Olori Naomi is the only woman they know. They don't know any other woman. That Kabiyesi should not ever bring any other Olori into the palace again. He should keep them outside until issues with Naomi is straightened out. And they said this was their agreement. That is the Gisei ruling house and Kabiyesi, and it was made public in that meeting that all of the Oloris who are in the palace, that yes, they know that they are Kabiyesi's wife, but they are not their wife. That the only wife that they know, the only wife that they follow to go and get married to is Olori Naomi. Then again, I ask, these people, do they have a right to even make a choice for the king? Because here is just being objective. He is king. He decides he wants to marry. Do you people have the right to stop him? And this is what is going on in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. From what we are hearing, if the information is true, I'm going to bring you more update. They said this is what is going on, that Olori, the Gisei family are standing, that Naomi is the only wife they know, that they do not know any other woman, and Kabiyesi has no right to bring any other woman into the palace again. I'm going to bring you more update. I appreciate you so much. Do not forget, these are all alleged, rumored, and speculated information making the rounds on social media.